Hari 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 Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Shuddho Buddho Vimuktaha Shuddhi Shikhara Giram Mukhyatat Parya Bhumi Yasmad Jatam Samastam Jagadidam Amrdat Vyapya Sarvam Sthido Yaha Yasyam Sham Shavatarai Suranaravanajai Rakshitam Sarvametat Tam Bhumanam Mugundam Hridigatam Amalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhumanam Mugundam Hridigatam Amalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udetu Satatam Samyag Swatmananda Prabodhagaha. Hari 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 Om Tat Sat. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Now we shall have 3 times the recitation jointly of the auspicious monosyllable Omkara. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect, close your eyes. Open the mouth and heart and join me. While reciting this Omkara, you must have in your mind a very definite sankalpa, a creative thought, that this collective sound should spread upon the whole earth, showering its benedictions upon all creatures and beings thriving upon our planet. Let this thought be always in you. You will find the magic of your mind expanding, becoming loftier and loftier, and rising to the level of magnificence, sublimity. We shall chant the Omkara now. Now we shall recite the Bhagavad Gita sloka. Karpanya dosho bhagata svabhava.
Karpanya dosho bhagata svabhava.
Pritchami tvam.
Pritchami tvam.
Dharma sammudha cheta.
Dharma sammudha cheta.
Yachreyasyat.
Yachreyasyat.
Nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Shishyasteham.
Shishyasteham.
Shadhimam.
Shadhimam.
Tvam prapannam.
Tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham
शिष्यस्तेऽहं
Shadhimam
शाधिमां
Tvam Prabannam.
त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
It's a few weeks since I spoke to you. We had reached the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is particularly called Dhyana Yoga or Atma Samyama Yoga. This is the one chapter in which Sri Krishna speaks directly and briefly, at the same time fully, about meditation. One point that I want you to understand is Bhagavad Gita is actually a Yoga Shastra, a scientific treatise on yoga. What yoga is, Bhagavad Gita tells you very well. It is not Patanjali Maharshi's Yoga Shastra. It is not Hatha Yoga from Hatha Yoga Pradipika or similar texts. This is a yoga right from the beginning. The first chapter is called Vishada Yoga. What does it mean? Yoga and Vishada linked together. Arjuna was in a total state of Vishada, grief. The grief overpowered him so much that he said, Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. All my senses are being scorched because of the grief I am experiencing inside the body, in the mind. I don't know whether you have had an experience of grief which was scorching your senses. I don't think. So the grief was so powerful, overwhelming, that the impact spread into the body to the extent of burning all the sensory organs. Now that chapter called Vishada Yoga. Normally people have grief on several occasions, but none of them transforms the grief into a Vishada Yoga. Grief is an experience of the mind. If the mind and the intelligence put together will and wish, any experience of the mind can be transformed into the spiritual yogic pursuit, practice and perfection. People don't know that. Yoga means getting united in a state of union. What are getting united? He said that the eyes are getting united with the ears? No. The tongue with the mouth? No. The hands with the legs? No. So what is this unification? Where? Where can such a union be possible? Not in the physical, material level. Nothing will unite with the other. It is not possible at all. If at all there is anything called yoga, that yoga is applicable only to inside the body. Not in the physical body, but in the domain transcending physicality, transcending materiality. There what do we have? We have the mind, we have the intelligence, we have the ego. The mind goes on thinking, feeling, generating emotions, memory. The intelligence goes on deliberating. Apparently we think mind is different from the intelligence, both are different from ego. Actually speaking, the substance inside the body, the inner presence, which animates and activates the body is only one. And mind is its functional note, expressional note. Intelligence also is equally a functional note. Similarly, the ego. So substance-wise, all the three are the same. Only functional differences are there. And by these three different names, we are only referring to that functional entity. When you understand this, you will find, you will not consider the mind to be separate from the sentient presence. nor will you be considering the intelligence to be separate from it, or ego. These are all functions necessary for the prevalence of our life. We have a body. Body has a stomach. It produces hunger and thirst. We have hands, we have feet, we have tongue, we have a mouth. All these are to be properly used. No one organ is going to be united with the other. However much you may take asanas or pranayama. The getting together will be in the sphere of the consciousness, in the sphere of the sentience, where you will find the mind itself dissolves and what remains is pure sattva. Thought itself dissolves to become the thinking substance and the thinker. The intelligence also dissolves to become one with the mind and further to become one with the sentience. Our intelligence will function, mind will function, ego will function, but you will never feel a sense of separation or distinctness with any one of these organs. For you, the mind becomes the self, intelligence becomes the self, the ego also becomes the self. There is only one presence, one presence, one presence, one presence, a singular presence, which is like space, absolutely present, all-pervadingly. Such an all-pervading presence cannot contract itself to become anything. It is indivisible. If it is indivisible and you understand that it is so, where is the question of differences? Where is one thing uniting itself with another to become one? So all these propositions will become fallacious. Fallacious. They are all products of ignorance and delusion. Here Krishna speaks about some dhyana and dhyana details in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Right from the 2nd chapter, he was exposing the truth of the self. The truth of the self. He was speaking about the truth of sukha and dukkha. He was speaking about the sensory reactions and responses which our senses produce. A lot of explanation has been given. A lot of exposition has already been made. All these were in the way of understanding. He has never come to the body, so to say. But in the 6th chapter, he decided to speak about meditation because this meditation will be helpful to understand the exposition he has made and again will make further. And what is meditation? Meditation is an effort made by the seeker, made by the student, sitting in a place, keeping the body still, trying to focus on the mind and apply the mind, apply the intelligence on whatever he wants. Krishna is going to tell you that Dhyana or yoga should be practiced for purifying your being. That is the purpose of meditation. That is the purpose of yoga. Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye Yunjan. So you will find that the meditation he discusses will be a knowledge-oriented meditation. A knowledge-oriented meditation. So it will have very few physical limbs. All of them, all the efforts are focused directly on the mind and the intelligence. So here he says, Tatraigagram manakritva yada chittendriya kriyaha upavishya asane yunjyat yogam atma vishuddhaye. You must have an asana, a seat for you, and it should be used only by you. Even the husbands and wives, they cannot use the asanas of the other. You must have an asana of your own. Your body should contact only that, and the asana should contact only your body. Because it is going to be used again and again. So it becomes a friend. There is a lot of intimacy. In other words, while meditating, there will be a lot of radiance and radiation, vibration in your system. All these vibrations will naturally be passed on to the asana. So the asana imbibes contact and everything that comes from the contact with you. So there is a kind of an inseparable alliance between you and the asana. In such a context, where is the question of your asana being used by another, or you are asking for another's asana? So understand. Upavishya asane yunjyat yogam atma vishuddhaye. When you are told this, it is something very new and strange. Normally people, right from the time they wake up, they are interactive until they go to sleep. There is no question of they are keeping quiet, remaining still, contemplating, etc. They will sit on a chair, they will have a table, something to write on, etc. and they will be thinking. And in the course of the thinking, they may do a little of concentration on the subject they are dealing with. An exclusive meditation or stillness is totally unknown to the people of the world. Unless you become a seeker of truth or a student of yoga, you will not be given to the practice of sitting in a place. People come to the ashram. After getting exposed to me, exposed to us, they take interest. Right in the beginning they will not say this. Maybe years pass and then say, Swamiji, I would like to have Diksha from you. They could have asked earlier also, but they did not ask because they did not understand. They never felt, they were not serious. Though they were listening to the talks and reading books, they were absolutely secular in their thought process, in their evaluational process, in their interest and dedication. What are the factors they will constantly think about? Their family, family members, children, married partner, like this. For them, spirituality or spiritual things are what? Very rarely and remotely used. All these ideas will vanish. And when they become seekers and inquirers, they would certainly come to a level of understanding that in the whole personality of ours, though there are a number of physical parts, mind is the most important factor in our body, in our personality. Every experience is related to the mind, related to the intelligence. Our body is made up of the food we consume. Therefore, it is all completely material. Our body is a material mass. Being so, it is inert. I-N-E-R-T. It has no aliveness in it. But such a body is animated and activated by the mind. Therefore, it remains as it is. It is just like a copper wire or an aluminum conductor charged by electricity. The two are different, but the electricity passes. So we need the quality of the mind, potential of the mind to increase day by day, hour after hour. Now if the mind is the one thing to be enriched, your efforts should be inner and mental. But throughout the day, as long as you are interactive, what happens? We are involved in the interactions. The interactions are always sensory interactions. They are in the gross world with the gross body and the gross senses. There is no time for us to spend for the mind. If you aim at the improvement of the mind, you must do something which will touch and involve the mind. This process can be achieved only when you stop your activity, sit in a place, particularly sit on an asana. Interlock your fingers, close your eyes, and start entering into the mental domain. This process is called meditation. What is meditation? Walkingly you cannot meditate. Actingly you cannot meditate. Speakingly you cannot meditate. If you have to meditate, which is a mental process, you have to sit in a place, make the body still, close your eyes, do not want to hear anything. You cannot close your ears, not necessary, nor is it necessary. Then focus on your mind with the intelligence and see that the mind is constantly improved. The moment you start focusing on the mind, sitting in a place, it becomes meditation. In meditation there are different limbs. We can make a science of everything, provided you think well, cogently, and you are able to present matters in a very, very rational, systematic manner. So Krishna is speaking about it. And he speaks only in the 6th chapter. After having heard all that he has exposed in the 5 chapters, the 6th chapter, the discussion on meditation will also be, for the major part, rational, intelligential, and wisdom-oriented. Samam kayashirogrivam dharayan achalam sthiraha samprekshya nasikagram swam dishasya anavalokayan. This is all what he says. Sit in a place, let the body, head and neck be, don't sit in a bent manner. Try to sit like this. So that the body, neck and head, they are on one line, in one line. Samprekshya nasikagram swam dishasya anavalokayan. He doesn't want you to look at so many things around you. He says, there are 2 ways. Either you close your eyes, then you will see nothing. You will not be able to close your eyes, the mind will be functioning. So to have an effect also on the mind, the best will be open your eyes, but look at the tip of the nose. When you start looking at the tip of the nose, you will never see anything, because it comes within the least distance of distinct vision. Or you can look at this portion, that is also the end of the nose. One is top, another is bottom. Dishasya anavalokayan. So in order to avoid seeing, one way will be to open the eyes and focus your attention on the tip of the nose, below or above. Then whatever he says further, prashantatma vigatabhi brahmachari vrade sthidah manas samyamya machitto yukta asida matparaha. All these are mental. So the physical part of the meditation is over. After some time you will find even these little physical details also he drops and he gets focused only on the mind. Real spiritual effort is by the mind and the intelligence. I want to say this crores of times. Real spiritual sadhana is done by the mind and the intelligence. What for? To reform and refine the mind and the intelligence themselves. Because all the shackles constituting bondage are produced by the mind and the intelligence. So you want the mind to be pure, purer, 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 purest. When the mind becomes totally pure, that itself is the self and that itself is God. When the intelligence is able to understand, the very understanding process, it becomes self-realization. As I said, Krishna doesn't spend too much with regard to explaining the physical details of meditation. He only wants you to understand the dialogue. It was a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. As I am talking to you, in your case, you are only listening, I am only speaking. But Krishna was speaking and also listening. Arjuna was mostly listening but also rarely speaking. So it was a dialogue. In the dialogue, except looking at the face of the speaker and hearing his words, no other exercise is involved. So after having done all the 5 chapters, it is in the 6th chapter he discusses the meditation. So that meditation will have an ample measure of the knowledge that he has transmitted. So it will be a knowledge-oriented meditation. So that is why he says, Prashantatma vigatabhihi brahmachari vrate sthidaha manas samyamya machito yukta asida matvara. Directly he takes you to the mind. I am not explaining this verse now, I will come to it later. So I want you to listen to something very, very interesting, very enlightening, and which no seeker should miss. Under the name of yoga, many practices are there. There are textbooks also available. Patanjali has written Yoga Sutra. There also, Ashtanga Raja Yoga is the name. There are 8 limbs there. So all these 8 limbs are invariably, most of them are body-based. Now in spirituality, for making spirituality full, complete and effective, is it any necessary to have recourse to these practices? A question necessarily will arise, especially in the minds of a few. So there should be an answer. Shankaracharya, as you know, he was a full and total exponent of Brahma Vidya. His life was completely given to explaining, exposing and teaching Brahma Vidya. And what did he do? He wrote a commentary for Vishnu Sahasranama to begin with. Then he started writing commentary for Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutras. All are absolutely knowledge. All are knowledge. So he has written a Prakarana Grantha called Aparokṣānubhūtiḥ. Aparokṣānubhūtiḥ. What is this Aparokṣa? Generally there are 2 categories of knowledge. One is Pratyaksha knowledge. The word Aksha refers to the eye. The eye is representing all the 5 senses. What are the 5 senses? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. Pratyaksha. The Pratyaksha knowledge is always based upon what the senses perceive as objects. So they are based upon the senses and sensory readings. Paroksha. What is Paroksha? In the Pratyaksha knowledge, the senses alone work. In Paroksha knowledge, you transcend the senses. You don't employ the senses. Only you employ your mind and intelligence. Mind is inside. It is subtle. Not like eyes, ears, nose and the like. Nevertheless, we know that we have a mind, we have an intelligence and they can be employed. Suppose you want to remember something that you have learned. You close your eyes and start trying to remember using the mind. In that process, the senses do not come. Similarly, you want to inquire into, say, take Newton. What did Newton do? In England, being the climate is suitable, so a number of apple trees are there. An apple will be full of fruits. All the fruits, when they grow mature, they fall. A fruit here, a fruit there, a fruit there, a fruit here. Every fruit falls perpendicularly to the earth. He was wondering, why is it that all the fruits are falling perpendicularly to the earth? Once they are detached from the tree, then the tree has no influence on them. As long as it is clinging to the tree, so the tree has something to pass on to, and depending upon the position, etc. Here it is disconnected and then it falls. So in the falling, he found a uniformity and he is falling below. It can also fly. If I tell you, I don't know whether I am right in saying and you will be right in grasping. See, the earth is round. In the round earth, here a tree is upward. Below also it is upward. So where there the apple, are they falling? They seem to be falling, but they seem to be coming down. But mind you, in the top portion it is falling. The same tree here, the trees are like this, and they are falling. Are they falling? You can say. Here it is falling, there it is coming up to the earth. So why is it that they don't flee or fly? They fall. The first connection is with the tree. That is broken. Then the fall can only have a relationship with the earth. Otherwise there is nothing else there. It penetrates the air and then falls. So the only existence which can influence its fall, apart from the tree, is the earth. Many people picked up the fruit and ate comfortably. Newton did not pick up. He stood there and watched the tree, watched the apple, watched the fall. You know, he started thinking about it for a year. Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? What is the factor which makes the apple fall perpendicularly? And he found out that it is the gravitational pull of the earth. Now you tell me, besides seeing the apple falling, everything that Newton did in the process was inward, mental and intellectual, The body or senses, hands or feet had no place there. So in the Aparokṣānubhūtiḥ, Pratyaksha, Paroksha I said. Then Aparokṣā. In the Pratyaksha the senses work. In Paroksha senses do not work. But the invisible mind and the intelligence work. And in Aparokṣā even they don't work. Still we can have an anubhuti. Every day we sleep and we get up in the morning after about 6, 7 or 8 hours. And we say we had a comfortable sleep. So sleep is a state you have experienced and you describe it as a comfortable sleep. In that experience you tell me, are the senses involved? You are unconscious of the body and the senses. You are equally unconscious of the mind, unconscious of the intelligence, unconscious of the ego, unconscious of the world. You are unconscious of everything. Even then you have the experience, I slept comfortably. Because senses did not work there, mind and intelligence also did not work, it became an Aparokṣānubhūtiḥ. I would like to say that all experiences are like this. You say, I am, I am, I am. When you say, I am, there are two words here, I. Have you seen the I? No. But you refer to the I. Then you say that I am. What is that amness? But you have no difficulty in saying, I am, I am, I am. Tell me whether it falls within pratyaksha or paroksha. It is an Aparokṣānubhūtiḥ. So the self-realization is actually an Aparokṣa Sakshatkara. So giving this name Aparokṣānubhūtiḥ, Shankaracharya has written a few verses. The entire science of self-realization is explained beautifully, emphasizing the role of Viveka and Vairagya. In that, he says, Tripanchāṅgāņa atho vakṣye. I am now giving 15 elements for you, for the seeker, to practice and perfect in order to realize the self. 15 elements. I wanted to tell you about it. While reading it for the first time, when I was reading some verses and explanations of Shankara, I used to smile and laugh. I don't know whether you will smile and laugh. Let me see. So he says there are 15 limbs. Yamohi niyamastyago maunam deshascha kalata Asanam mūlabandhascha dehasamyam cha drikstitihi. Prana samyamanam chaiva pratyaharascha dharana atmadhyanam samadhischa proktanya angani vaikramad. These are the 15 elements, he says. When I was reading this book originally, I was very interested. Interestingly, I read. And when he started explaining each limb, I started laughing also. On the one hand, I was marveling at his intelligence. I was wondering why Shankara has brought these 15 limbs. It is to overwhelm the yoga flair of people. This is actually a knowledge sadhana, a knowledge pursuit, a knowledge attainment. In that knowledge attainment, where does the question of physical and sensory disciplines come? I can understand if you want to have a good body, you must have exercises, and yogasanas also are very good. Their role is to treat the body, nourish the body, very good. Now, this is a stage where our attention is solely focused on knowledge, Brahmajnana, Ishvara Sakshatkara. There can we go on dabbling with disconnected materials? So, he presents 15 limbs and explains each of them. See how he explains. Sarvam brahmedi vijnanat indriyagrama samyamaha yamoyamiti samproktaha abhyasaniyo muhurmuhu. The word yama, what does it mean? It is a kind of a regulation. Yama, niyama, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, etc. Patanjali mentions. But here he says, Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanad. Everything before us, around us, everything is Brahman. Brahman is all full, completely full, pervading everywhere. So without this Brahman, will you have anything? Because it is all pervading, omnipresent. If something is omnipresent, there is no question of missing it. Everything comes within the omnipresence. So you should think about the omnipresence of Brahman. Once this omnipresence is accepted, Indriya Grama Samyamaha. The Indriyas are given to perceiving different kinds of objects. Eyes will see colors and shapes, and on the basis of colors and shapes, it will start presenting a number of objects. Similarly, ears will start hearing and distinguishing the different notes. But actually, all are Brahman. So take that concept, that truth, and always remember it. Carry it in your mind and intelligence. All are Brahman. Indriya Grama Samyamaha. And let this thought of oneness and fullness of Brahman act upon the senses and their undue attractions and repulsions. This is called yama. Yama means what? Applying some regulation and refinement. So what is the refinement you must have towards the senses and sensory perceptions? All are Brahman. So never be seduced by anything. Do not be swayed by any attraction or repulsion. Think repeatedly that all are Brahman, therefore the same. I am Brahman. The objects I see are Brahman. The seeing process is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Brahmaksharam pavanamuccharanto Brahmahamasmiti vibhavayantaha Bhikshashino dikshu paribhramantaha Kaupina Kalu Bhagyavantaha. This is a composition of Shankara called Kaupina Panchakam. A set of 5 verses where he says, praises the Kaupina. Kaupina means what? That narrow piece of cloth you wear on the hip, covering the frontal private part, primarily. And that is sufficient, and people will be able to bear looking at you. Even now in our country, people walk like this. It can be a little broad to cover that area. So, Brahmaksharam pavanamuccharanto Brahmahamasmiti vibhavayantaha Bhikshashino dikshu paribhramantaha Kaupinavantah kalu bhagyavantaha. Brahmaksharam pavanam Uchcharantaha. That Brahma, Sarvam Brahma, Aham Brahma. Brahmaivedam amrutam purastad Brahma, Paschad Brahma, Dakshinadaschottarena, Adhaschordhvam cha prasadam, Brahmaivedam Vishwamidam Varishtam. This is from Mundakopanishad. Brahman alone is in front. He is at the back, on the right, on the left, inside as well as outside. The entire universe is the most auspicious Brahman. This kind of a thought, Brahma Aksharam Pavanam Uccharanto, the very utterance of this Brahma name, that word, it purifies you. So understand and think that all are Brahman. All are Brahman. So you tell the senses, never see anything different. Maybe you see colors and shapes, but all colors and shapes, altogether, all of them are Brahmamaya. Thinking in this manner bring about restraint, regulation and sublimation in the senses and their functions. This is called yama. Brahmic knowledge is so powerful, is so effective, so lofty, so overpowering and overwhelming that if you start uttering Brahma, Brahma, Brahma in any form, you will find its effect is marvelous. Shankara says, Atyanta kamugasyapi vrittih kundhati madhari tathaiva brahmani jnade purnanande manishinaha. This is from Vivekachudamani. Are you hearing me, my dear seekers? Or many of you have left because of the intermittent disturbance, power shortage. Atyanta kamugasyapi vritti kuddhati madhari. There may be an extremely passionate man. He is disturbed by the passion. But the moment the mother happens to come there and he spots the mother, then the whole passionate vritti becomes shy and it dies down. Is it not? Will your passion be pronounced when the mother is nearby? So, atyanta kamugasyapi vritti kundhati madhari tathaiva brahmani jnade purna anande manishina. Brahman is purna ananda. When you carry that realization, no senses will be able to seduce you, attach you or overpower you. In the 3rd chapter, Krishna has already said what? Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhya param manaha, manasastu parabuddhi, yo buddhehe paradastu saha. What is the order of superiority in the different parts of the body, constituents of our personality? Senses are superior to the world objects. Mind is superior to the senses. Intelligence is superior to the mind. And the eye is still superior to the eye. So you are carrying in your body everything superior to the objects of the world. If this is a fact, then will you be overpowered by any objects in this world? Can you be? How can anybody allow this? Because our senses themselves are superior to the objects. Mind is still superior. Intelligence is further superior. And the eye is the most superior. So you carry in you everything superior to the objects. So how can the objects attract and repel you then? Everything is in a state of foolishness, ignorance and delusion. So he says, just like in the presence of the mother, even the most passionate man's passionate pulsations, they become shy, restricted and subside. The same thing will happen. So the real yama is in practicing this Brahmavritti and then having the necessary restraint over your senses. Sajatiya pravahascha vijatiya tiraskritihi niyamohi paranando niyamat kriyate budhaihi. The first is yama, second is niyama. See how he defines this niyama. Sajatiya pravahascha vijatiya tiraskritihi. You know, in our life, all our interactions, they can be divided into two classes. One is good, noble and great, and bad, ignoble and the worst. Knowing that everything from the best to the worst surrounds us, what should you do? What should you do? You should always develop a thought process, an emotional process, a reactive process of the good, noble and great. So make sure that your thoughts are all properly aligned. You cannot allow corruption there, discordance there. Sajatiya pravahascha. Let your mind become a forum for good, noble and great thoughts to continuously flow if at all. So discovering and identifying the bad and the disturbing, remove them. Don't pamper them. Don't allow any kind of a place for them. So make your mind filled with good, noble and great thoughts. And the other thoughts, dissuade them. If you dissuade them consistently for a while, how long I cannot say. Any sadhana will be very effective depending upon the intensity with which you do. I can say in about 2-3 months. So allowing good, noble and great thoughts to fill your mind and keeping away from bad, ignoble and trifling thoughts. This kind of a regulation is meant by the word niyama. Niyama. Applying the principle of regulation and sublimation to your own mind and intelligence, their functioning. Tyagah prapanjarupasya chida atmatvavalokanaad tyago hi mahatam pujya sadyo mokshamayo yada. Shankara was a great person, Baba. He had a widowed mother and he was the only son. So you can imagine how much the mother would have wanted him. And he was also very affectionate. So not that he did not have love, fondness, care or concern for the mother. But there was a call in his heart to know the truth. And being a Brahmin, the call was all the more powerful because the Brahmins are supposed to live a very calm, comfortable and quiet life, not indulging in sensory objects. Their life is studying the Vedas, chanting the Vedas every day, performing the necessary rituals and ceremonies, speak always good and noble things, never indulge in wrong practices, between themselves, they will not use bad language. It's a very interesting life. Right from the beginning, what is their goal? Their goal is Brahmajnana, Brahmajnana, Brahmajnana. This is a possession for the mind and the intelligence, primarily the intelligence. So the care and concern is, I must become wise, I must become wise, I must get enlightened. And enlightenment can be had only with purity of the mind. Purity of the mind is through disciplines, relinquishment. So it's a very interesting life. Tyaga prapancha rupasya chidatmatvavalokanaad. What is this tyaga? Is it leaving everything? Prapancha rupasya tyagaha chidatmatvavalokanaad. Shall I explain it? Do you want an explanation? And will you be with me when I say? You are perceiving the world. Perceiving the world. You are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching. I don't deny. But mind you, your body and senses are inert. I-N-E-R-T, insentient. Therefore, neither the body nor the senses will be able to create, generate an experience or knowledge. Once you admit this fact, our body is a product of the food we consume. All the food is material. So the body is a material mass. It has no potential to generate an experience or knowledge. It's all written off. Then where from do we get all our experiences? Not from the body, from the mind. And the mind is not the physical part of the body. So in seeing, the mind employs the eyes. In hearing, the mind employs the ears. I agree. Who employs? The mind employs. Can the eyes function by themselves? No. The cornea in a dead body is taken immediately after the body dies, and it is grafted to a blind man, and there the cornea begins to see. Is it not very clear that it is from the dead body it is taken and grafted? What does it mean? That animation becomes necessary. That animation cannot come from matter. Matter can be animated, but by something which is supra-material, spiritual. That is what the mind is. Why I mention this? You are seeing a tree, you are seeing your people, your own child you are seeing. That seeing process and the seer, seeing process and the seer, are they taking place in the gross body? No. It is the mind that wants to see and it employs the eyes. So the seer is the mind here, and the seeing is a process which it instruments where? Inside the body. And seeing an object is making an imprint of the object in the mind. So mind is the source of all activity. And all the outcomes are produced by the mind in the form of imprints. So don't you think the seer, the seeing process and the outcome of seeing, all these are inner? So the entire world I see where? In my mind. My mind is the subject part of my personality. It is there that the world is imprinted. So the imprint is what? It is mental, inner. It is not material at all. If it is not material, what is it? It is spiritual. So the entire world, though I see, I am seeing it as an imprint in my mind. That imprint is caused by the mind spiritually. So whatever I see, is it not manomaya? Is it not mental? Where am I seeing? I am seeing in myself. This is what he says. Tyaga prapanjarupasya chidatmatva. In all my perceptions, though I refer to as objects, no object is there at all. All these perceptions are inside my body and they are a display in and by the subject. In and by the subject. The subject. Your own body, your son's body, your daughter's body, your wife's, your husband's, everything is seen in the mind. Whatever is in the mind, a mental imprint, is it not mental? So the entire world is no other than a display within you of the self. The entire Prapancha Rupa is actually a Chidatmatva. So refuse the world, a status as an object separate from you at all. The world is actually a perception which my mind produces within me. Apart from this perception, the world has no locus standi at all. You must be able to think like that. This is called Tyaga. What have you renounced now? The separate objective status of the world. Seeing everything as an expression and extension of the self. Tyago hi mahatam pujya. This Tyaga is the one adored to the great people. Suppose somebody leaves something saying that I have left. Nothing. The possessiveness you have in your mind, has it gone? The ego that you have, the kartrabhava and bhoktrabhava that you have they fallen? Ask these questions. Ismat vajo nivartande aprapya manasa saha yan maunam yogibhirgamyam tadbhavet sarvata buddha. Mauna. Is it physical silence? No. Yasmat vacho nivartande aprapya manasa saha. This is a statement of the Upanishad. Kenopanishad. Or maybe another Upanishad. Yasmat vajo nivartande aprapya manasa saha. From what? Our words are recoiling along with the mind, unable to reach. So words cannot reach, even mind cannot reach. If it is unreachable to the mind, unreachable to the words, then why should I think? Why should I speak? So let me stop thinking, let me stop speaking. In this manner, if you are able to sit, that is called real mauna, silence, practice of silence. And not controlling the speech and avoiding the speech. Vajo yasman nivartande tad vaktum kena shakyade pravanjo yadi vaktavyaha sobi shabda vivarjidaha. I don't know whether you follow me. Vajo yasman nivartande tad vaktum kena shakyade. Our words are unable to reach it and describe it. If our words cannot amply explain it, then why should I make any effort at all? Pravanjo yadi vaktavyaha sobi shabda vivarjidaha. Suppose we have to describe this prapancha, visible world. Even this is indescribable. Suppose you have a dream experience. Either you experience the dream of your dear and near one's marriage, or maybe the cremation of a relative. It's all in dream. Suppose you are experiencing this. Can you tell me how you are experiencing? There are dreams when you feel your neck is cut. When you get up, the neck is still there. So how can the sleeping man have this kind of diverse experiences? This cannot be explained at all. In the same manner, any extent of explanation you may try to pick up and apply to Brahman and the world, they will not be able to explain it properly. Oh, if my words cannot, my thoughts cannot, my mind cannot, my intelligence cannot, then what am I supposed to do? Keep quiet. This is what you have to do. This is called mauna, he says. Mauna is not mere physical non-speakingness. It is understanding the unreachable nature of Brahman. See, everything changes. Thinking in this manner, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. My words cannot reach there, my mind cannot reach there. How the whole world is born and how is it displayed? There is no proper, effective, successful explanation. Thinking in this manner, stop talking. That is called mauna. Idiva tad bhaven maunam satam sahaja samjidam giram maunam tu balanam prayuktam brahmavadibhi. This kind of an enlightened silence is what noble, great and wise people find acceptable and necessary. Giram maunam tu balanam. Avoiding speech and declaring that I am a mauni, this is only badana. Enlightened people, grown-up people will not do it. Only children will do it. Prayuktam brahmavadibhi. People who know Brahman, they have clearly said that this kind of a physical mauna is not at all useful. Like that he has explained 15 elements. in everything, in and through everything, he is only taking you to the thought and realization of Brahman. I shall stop. How can I know? How do you react to these explanations? While discussing Gita, I need not do this, but I thought I am consistently talking to you, and some of you are listening to me very regularly, and many have written and let me know that this Satsang has been immensely helpful to them. They are getting more and more enlightened. So I thought I will share these things with you. Some of them make you laugh also. Okay. Samvedya varjitamanuttamamekamadyam samvitpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahida kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamethya shamodidashri. Kurvan agartrapadamethya shamodidashri. These days, your Swamiji often likes to sit closing his eyes. In the morning we have a Pushpa Samarpanam program. People will start coming one after the other, receiving flowers from Ma primarily, or Nuthan Swamiji. Ma is gone. They will come in a line and offer flowers at my feet. So one after the other, there will be sometimes more people. So maybe 10, 15, 20 people are there. So I tend to close my eyes more than keeping them open. Sometimes we feel I should open my eyes, but somehow the tendency to close the eyes and sit is increasing. Sometimes people think that I am sleeping. So I am telling them, I will start doing something by virtue of which you will find that I am not sleeping. I will hold my hand like this. If it does not droop, then you can think that you cannot say I am sleeping. So, whenever there is no work, say I am speaking or I am sitting. Now here our Pranati was making an announcement. So I thought that was a time I could close my eyes. Sometimes these photographers say, please keep the eyes open. They are also telling me. But so many years have passed. I have been in this line, Brahmaksharam Pavanamuccharanto Brahmahamasmidi Vibhavayantaha. See, 70 years, 69, 70 years. Is it a small period? It is surprising that I am alive and I am active. Normally activity will not be there. But somehow I decided out of my own volition that like Krishna who lived for 125 years, as long as I am in a position to live and move and be useful for people for interaction, I shall continue to remain so. So I don't have a special preference to be remaining absorbed. In spite of that, I find I tend to close my eyes and sit. I just mentioned it, that's all. Samvedya varjitamanuttamamekamadyam samvitpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahida kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamethya shamodidashri. Kurvan agartrapadamethya Shamodidashri. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tats Jaya Guru. We shall have the conclusional recitation of Omkara and then part. Take your pose for it. Okay. Hari Om Tas Jaya Guru.